Yo, it's cooking time. I've already started. Oh no, they say. It's not really about the cooking, to be honest. But I just had to wait until I felt like now is the time to do this. Now is the time. Wow. Sometimes I don't know about this thing. Yeah. Sometimes I think we need a little bit of water. You don't have to see me all the way. This is water with salt, fairly simple. You bring it to a boil. This is gluten-free pasta, right? I don't know if that's an achievement, but I just like to eat different things most days. That's true for me because I get bored easily, which is why I want my life to be as exciting as I can have it without being stupid, right? And that's true for me. It's true for me, right? It's because I looked at the way science is telling me to live, right? Go to doctors for every little thing. Yeah, I mean, what is science really doing? They're just confusing me. So I just take care of my own, which is yesterday I drank beer. And I use that experience because I haven't drunk beer in a while. Like a really long time. Beer, probably 3 years. I drank 1 glass of white wine. Or maybe make it 2, I'm not sure. A year ago, roughly. And since then, I have had no alcohol. So I had it again now. Why? Because I wanted to feel how I feel when I drink alcohol. Now this meal I'm making, I was first too lazy, but when I started, I realized, oh wow, now I actually feel motivated. And that's sometimes where you have to get. But I also ate something before. I had this half-ripe avo, which was soft enough to eat it, but still a little hard. Then I have taken aubergine. I'm just going to show you, I'm just looking for something that I can grab this. Let's just take that. Oh wow, where is this even pointing? Christopher, you're not paying attention. Yeah, I know. I know I'm not paying attention. Things are evading me. You know, things are driving me insane, right? I just don't know who to love, who to trust. I don't really give a crap anymore. I'm just gonna show you this first, because then I can proceed. This is aubergine. I cut it in fine slices. I put fat on top, coconut fat, which then of course only melts in the thing. Salt and, yeah, garlic powder. This is now giving it a little bit of a baked, burnt taste, if you will. And now I'm just going to take, what? It says mushroom seeds. Sometimes I get this really weird, like these really weird words in my head. And I don't know where they come from. It's like, mushroom seeds. What? I mean, don't they have spores? Like, where does this come from? Mushroom seeds. What is that even supposed to mean, man? I mean, what is mushroom seeds? Sometimes it makes me a little bit angry. Because why? I want the world to make sense. And the more I'm living in it, the more I realize it makes no sense. It never made any sense. And if I try to explain to you what people are saying and what they're doing and that it's two different things, and why they're doing things, like why is science trying to convince everybody that they're doing a really good job? Look at what science gave us. Overproduction. I mean, try overproducing without machines. Thank you, science, right? Thank you for taking us away from nature. Thank you for alienating me from nature. Thank you for forcing me to cook with electricity. It's not forcing me, but that's what I'm stuck with. I want to cook over an open fire. Yeah, I'm just going to put on top the whole can. Because I'm telling you, I'm a little bit, sometimes I just also like being a little bit lazy. Also a little bit, I don't know, I feel a little bit weird. Why? Because I have to drain the pasta soon, and I don't know where it's going, right? It's like, where is it going to go? In the toilet? Because it's hot water. Is it going in the toilet? Or where is it going to go? Yeah? Where is it going to go? Where is it going to go, man? Is it going in the toilet? Or where is it going to go? Well, I don't know. Yeah, this is really, really hard to... But I want something a little bit spicy. And I have to admit, I'm a little bit overwhelmed of how my life is going so far. Yeah. So this is corn or maize pasta. I'm not sure if that's really better, but what's better? And now I'm taking mustard, because because I don't want it to go bad, to be honest. And I'm going to mix it with the pasta. I like mustard. I'm still waiting to make my own. But for that I have to get used to this insane pace. Yeah, I cannot tell you about measurements. I just put it in, and when it looks good, I'm fine with it. Now these chilies I dried in an oven because yeah, I'm just gonna call her my mother. I actually would more like to see her as a kind of a friend, because when you have this parent, but it's also good, right, to draw boundaries. Like, who's more like a friend? Who do you love more like a friend or a sister? And who do you love like a wife or a lover, right? I mean, you can love women like an affair, but is the woman okay being the affair? Or does she actually want more out of it? Which is probably what a woman wants. So if you do start having an affair, then at least be honest about it and leave your wife or your husband. You know, don't play them. Don't have to. And if you do, then you have to be open about it. You're going to go to your wife and you're going to say, I have a second wife now, and we're going to all live together. You know how this could work? It could only work if you love them equally. You have to be able to love them equally. So you neither favor the one or the other. And when you realize that there's fighting between them, then you have to take responsibility for that and make sure that they receive the love that they need in order to be the woman that, you know, the best woman that they can be. And for that, they need the best man that you can be. Which would mean, if you would love two women, why would you do so? This is cumin seeds. And this time I'm going to take the pestle and the mortar. You know, you just have to hear me say this, because I don't want to adjust the camera all the time. It's just for you to familiarize yourself with the profession or the skill or the wisdom from cooking or something, right? I'm just giving you certain terms and techniques so that you can get going by yourself. If you're interested in making this, but you're a little bit uncertain about it, well, then you have to look it up. And if you don't look it up, this is olive oil, and there have been chilies soaked in it. And I cannot tell you if that's a good idea or not. Like, why do I put the pasta on top? Because then it gets a little bit crunchy. First try. Oh yeah, that's spicy. Oh yeah. Of course, if I would have cheese now, believe me, I may actually not put it on top. Why? Because it makes you heavy and bloated. And sometimes I want that because I feel like I've done enough. And then I eat something heavy so that I can rest and also relax into resting. This tastes already very nice. Now you see, this is a 2-step meal. 2-step. First, the aubergines, just for the oven. It's a more step meal, but in terms of putting things into the oven, I had it on 200 degrees, it's a small oven, and on 20 minutes. That's how long and on the lowest tray thingy, floor. That's where I've had the aubergines on, which is now the lowest layer. And then on top now is the uncooked canned tomatoes. And then on top, the mixture I just created. I'm just gonna give that another 20 minutes. Yeah, that it all can blend together nicely. Let me just wash my hands. So I often have questions how my own life is gonna be. Sometimes I see how it is. I have no idea how it will be. At the moment I have the feeling that women are so selfish that I would actually have to have 2 women. Because I have a lot of love to give. I could love 2 women, believe me. But I'm also very conscious about the way that would be. Which means as much as attention as you can give them. What is attention? It's also just being around, right? Not running around playing with friends all the time or something, right? No, it's like actually spending time around those women. And when they want it, you sleep with them. You know, that's actually the deal that is between a man and a woman that say, you know, we want to stick it out together because we really like each other and we want to spend a lot of time together and we want to have like intimacy, sex, cuddling, you know, the kind of things that you really want. And you cannot just give yourself, right? Because, yeah, I sleep. You know, I kind of get used to it now that I'm alone. And I'm trying to say this without this kind of shaking in my voice. But I also constantly look out for someone, for a woman that I can be with. But until now, right, I have ideas, and you've heard me talk about these ideas, but that's all they are. They're ideas. They may be visions, they may be feelings, but there's so much fear also in me, it's hard to see clearly. And I sometimes meet women that I feel a little attracted to. Or they look like this could work. And then as soon as I engage with them, they're like, bleh. And I say, fuck off here. Fuck off. I mean, this is literally like, I'm not taking this shit anymore, right? If a woman wants me, she has to work for that. And I meet women, they're like this, like, bleh. Or like, you can fuck me. What's that? Like, I don't want this. if you can't take care of your shit, because I want my experience to be nice. I've had a lot of this kind of dirty sex. I don't like that. I mean, I like the forces of nature in terms of shadow and chaos and darkness. And the only people that can actually live accordingly is the people that have worked on themselves emotionally. So that if I were in a relationship, it's just like truthful, but in a more conscious way. And I don't know in which way women are conscious like men. Maybe there's no difference, who's to say? It's hard to say for me at this point. But sometimes I think there is a difference. Maybe there isn't. Maybe it's just the body, because people say it's, you have a body, you're a man. Then you're a man. You have a body of a woman, then you're a woman. But as a woman, you can still feel like a man, and as a man, you can still feel like a woman if there's an imbalance in you. And if there is an imbalance, then it's your job to work that out. Just as I'm working more on my left hand, I'm doing more things now. I'm drawing with left. I'm pulling that wagon to move with my left. I'm stretching my left a lot when I'm bouldering. Right, I do a lot of things with my left, not everything. Like the mouse for my laptop, it's a right-handed mouse, so I'm using it right-handed. I also don't think I have to do everything with left now, right? I just want it to be, I do some things with left, and some things I do with right. And then, I'm getting more balanced myself. And that's what I think and feel I also require from a woman that I were to call my wife. Anyway, that's just, right? I have to sometimes go through this in my mind so that I can come to a conclusion and say, okay, what do I actually want? Well, I don't know. I have certain feelings. This feels good. This feels not so good. Having a partner for me is important. And I think I have the feeling it's coming for me. But despite the fact that there are candidates, I'm still looking. Because as long as you're not there, how would you know? So I'm still looking. And I'm looking, and in the boulder hall, there's a lot of women. Sometimes all I have to do is observe them. So if you have women that come with 3 guys, and when they boulder, it's like these 3 guys are standing there. Yeah, what's this? It's like an orgy or something. Are you screwing all of them? Or at least toying with them? Hey, you can have me if you want. She was sending me vibes, but she didn't have the balls to come forward and say, hey, what are you doing here? How long have you been climbing? Because that's actually what I expect from a woman. Because I learned that any woman that I have to go to isn't worth her salt. And you're gonna have a lot of trouble. Now I know that I'm a man, and that there are not many men anymore. They're just like traumatized children. And, people stuffed with shit, full of cheese and gluten and bad habits. So what's happening to me is I'm being trained in patience, which means you have to wait till a woman shows herself and says, let's do this. But at this stage, right, there's like, yeah, there's some people that I would just openly discourage to ever talk to me again. That's how it is. And there's others where I would say, yeah, I wouldn't mind. But also, right, it's not like, sometimes, I'm in the Boulder Hall and then I see a woman. I'm just talking about this because I think a lot of men are like desperately looking for women, and they cling to them and they hang around and do your own thing, man. Nothing is less attractive than a man that's clinging to a woman. Nothing is less attractive. Women also want to do their own thing, which is hard for a man because, sure, if a woman loves you, you want to make sure she keeps loving you, and then you get afraid that she actually won't love you anymore, and then you go to great length to make sure that you always are around whatever she does. Women hate that. Women want to do their own thing, and so do you probably, if you know who you is. So what I learned is to read women, to read emotions, and to work with that. So I go to the Boulder Hall. Yesterday I was there. There was a very beautiful woman. I pick up some cues, which is she has an arched back. What does that say? I don't know. She's taking a lot of blame and she's shouldering all of it. I mean, she has 3 guys following her around. But it's not like, they're just like toy boys. You can see it when somebody's climbing, how they wiggle around the wall, smearing it with their grime or something. You can really see it if somebody has a lot of energy stuck in their root chakra, or maybe it's the navel chakra. I'm not quite sure where that sexuality stuff is. But you can tell men apart that have a lot of sex casually and that masturbate and watch porn without knowing how to stop the semen from flowing out. That's an actual skill. And it takes a strong will, right? I have the strong will to mostly keep it down, to redirect the energy so that no semen comes out. Not always, but most days. I not always have the skill to not masturbate at all, because sometimes I'm just like, I feel really frustrated. I don't know where to put myself. And then I do use masturbation as a method, but also to practice channeling my energy into my body instead of into a tissue. So, which means you have an orgasm, but you don't ejaculate. Which means you're not leaking as much life force out of you, but you direct it into yourself so that you can use it for healing, which means that afterwards you won't be really as depleted as you would normally be. Because now the energy is used in your body. Yeah? Because letting go and having an ejaculation should be for having children. And merging with a woman, not for selfish pleasure. It's like, holding this with my left is so much more, this is not a heavy thing, right? But holding it with my left is much more hard than with my right. And so, yeah, you can do all kinds of things, but I would say that before you try to stop masturbation, first work on I mean, maybe you manage, right? I don't know that. Maybe you can just let go of it like this. Oh yeah. And then you never think about it again. With me, I had to really work on porn addiction, or my desire to watch porn. And so I first worked with that. And then I tried to also, okay, because I still like sexuality and masturbation in a way. I also like engaging with myself. Also like feeling my erection, right? It makes me feel like, I don't know. You know, at least I feel like there's nothing wrong, right? Energy is still flowing, which is good. I'm also exercising. I'm not masturbating nearly as much as I used to be. And I haven't watched porn in a while, which is also, I only have mobile data here. And I only use that. Yesterday I got close almost to just look up pictures from breasts or something. And it's still lurking around here. I really want to do that. I'm really obsessed with breasts. But I know that if you start with this thing, then the next one is already around the bend, right? So what I rather do is I resist that urge until it's gone and I have actual breasts to fondle. You know, I'm just imagining big breasts, but that can get boring really fast as well. You think you want breasts, and then you have them, and then you realize, damn, those breasts were a replacement. And this replacement is attached to a woman. And this woman now wants to stick around and love me. But actually, I just wanted her soft breasts and to slip into her vagina. And now she's like, oh yeah, you know, let's spend more time. And you're like, I don't want to. And then you have to communicate that. And then she's gonna be angry at you because you just used her. And that's why I'm a little bit careful about who to spend time with, who to work on, right? Who to let in. This is actual training. It's insane how weak my left arm is. Just, riding on that so you realize how imbalanced most of us are. Because you were told you're right-handed and you're left-handed. Why can't you be both? I have two hands. Why am I only using my right? It's stupid. Of course I'm like this. Of course I'm walking like this. Now I'm working right? It's like, now I have to even the scales. So anyway, I go to the boulder hall and there's this beautiful woman, and I don't really mind if she has an arched back. It wasn't bad, right? She was pretty. I liked her. And she came in and I saw that she liked me. Because I'm like the gorilla of the place or something. And then these other guys were like, you can really see it, man. You can see, I can see how dirty someone is. And I wasn't quite sure if she had already slept with all of them. They were all craning over her. So either she was like keeping them, at a distance, still trying to decide. But it looked like they were having like all kinds of things together. I don't know. And so I felt like whenever I was around, she was certainly paying attention, right? She kept standing when I was talking to other people. And when I stopped talking, she moved on. There are certain signs. And I could have tried to barge into this and then challenge the other men. But as soon as I would have done this, all these men would have come like back. Because maybe she's all they got. I don't know, right? I mean, she's a woman, she can boulder, she's tough. She's tougher than any of them. So that's why she needs 3. But I want a woman that just wants 1. And there's a difference. Because if a woman is content with having 3 weak men instead of 1 strong man, it says something about herself. It says that she has no self-value. Because she takes 3 lesser men instead of 1. And 3 lesser men will still be unable to satisfy her. Because a woman has needs. And to bring a woman to the pinnacle of herself, to that place of deep healing where she can completely let go, you have to have a man that knows how to live, knowing that he will die, which basically means you have to know how to challenge yourself, how to stand on your own 2 feet, at least emotionally. It's not so much about the financial stuff. But you have to hold your own weight emotionally so that you say, hey, I'm all right. I'm not going to shout at you. I'm going to make love to you for hours because I've actually worked on that. Now, I'm still a little bit uncertain whether I really have met my wife because I still don't see her. She may be like years in the distance. Who's to say? I don't know that. I'm continuously saying that. I don't know that. I literally don't know anything. And I mean that as I'm saying it. Because I literally don't know anything is as truthful as I can be. So I still feel, okay, life, what's it gonna be? Am I still waiting, or is there someone? I don't really know, right? I'm open to possibilities. Oh wow, this is hot. Yeah, wow, this is hot. Whoa, that was close. Yeah, that's how I feel like with women these days. Because I have to admit that I am madly in love with exactly 1 woman. And the reason I'm also reluctant to engage with other women is simply fairly easy. Looks alright to me. So this is not, strictly speaking, ketogenic. I could have taken red lentil pasta or just lentils for this. But I haven't, because I didn't. Because I wanted to take these. Because I'm not overly stiff or stuck on. It has to be red lentil pasta. Yeah, I can eat other things. Because once the energy is flowing, it's flowing. And that means that, I have tried to stop, believe me. It just doesn't work anymore. It just keeps you going. And that's nice. Because that also means that I can actually let go. And just see what comes. So yeah, it might have been that I went to the boulder hall, that this young woman, beauty or not, but I certainly felt a certain attraction to her, that was there with 3 other guys. It might have been that They were just there as friends. And if it would have been the case and she would have had the courage, because she was like sending me signals to come to her, but I don't do that. So she could have engaged me. And if she would have wanted to keep me close, she would have made sure. But yeah, I mean, my wife is stronger than her. I have to acknowledge it. Although I understand it, but it's hard to explain something that you have never experienced. So I know what's going on, but to explain that to you, yeah, it's already driving me insane. And I'm living it. I'm actually feeling it. I'm in the middle of it. This is really nice. All right, I'm trying to explain it. I've talked about this already a couple of times, but with a different feeling about it. I was more afraid, and because I was afraid, I was angry. Now I feel a little bit more balanced. So, imagine being me, if you want, or just be yourself, and hear what I have to say. I was being told, right, by the man that thinks he's my father, or maybe call him my father, it's just a word. It's the older guy I grew up with, yeah? I would like to see parents as friends, because that means we're equal. Which is the way it should be. And I was raised into the belief that you should have as much sex as possible. And I believe that you should have a lot of sex with one woman. And when you click, then it clicks. Then you're gonna have a lot of sex. And you're never gonna tire of it. So, I had already slept with 12 women or 13 women. And then after I had my first one-night stand, it was also my last, and I said, I don't want this anymore. And at one point I said, the next woman I want to sleep with is going to be my wife. And then I met someone, and I even spent 2 weeks with her over Christmas and New Year's Eve. You know, it's not recommendable to do it, but we did do mushrooms together in a tent in the forest. And I could have had sex with her. And she definitely wanted to. She wanted to put our sleeping bags together. And it never happened, which is interesting. Because believe me, before that, before the point where I said the next woman I sleep with is gonna be my wife, I would have just had sex with anyone. You know, put me in a room with her overnight and we would have sex with each other. That's just how it is. So I just had to get her. Actually, there was one woman that managed to resist me, but I still got fairly close. But yeah, point taken. Not every woman has a weak will or something. So what happened was really nice. The fat, the coconut fat and the olive oil are essential ingredients. So I was already sleeping in a bed with her for 2 weeks, and then we even slept in a tent on mushrooms. But she had no emotional capacities. She actually had no room for me in her heart. Because when she said, let's put the sleeping bags together, I just went mental because having sex actually scared me. Plus, I also wanted to test women unconsciously. Apparently, I tested them. And she failed the test because she just... Right, my fear just exploded into her face. My fear of having sex just exploded into her face, and she just said, oh yeah, no, we don't work together. Yeah, exactly, because you're not working, because you're lazy. She literally is lazy. It's like, you have some people that are so stuck on being righteous and being the good one that they just actually never progress. And so when you make a mistake, they're like, you're the bad one. I was like, what are you talking about? Didn't we say we loved each other? We wanted to have children? And now you're acting like, you know, you just don't call me anymore? Anyway, and then I met who I would like to call my wife, but I just don't know if I can. I actually don't even want it. I want it, but I'm also afraid. Because what it says in me, there's a lot of anger. It says, I will never trust you. That's what it says. So I was always trying to walk the extra mile for a woman. But I realized at one point, I actually think that the woman would have to walk the extra mile for me. Or maybe I have to walk the extra mile. And she too. And what I saw in her was so beautiful and so sweet to me that it's really hard to just replace someone like this. Because I really feel, for the first time in my life, I've really bonded with somebody. There was like an actual thing like this fit. And that's what I mean with you have to take care of your emotions. And because I love her so much, which is a weird thing to say, I just want to flow into her and embrace her and merge with her. I managed to do all of these things. Like, from the love I feel for her, I was able to transform all the fear that I felt and even that other people are feeling. and pushing onto me. So I grew. And that means when I go to the boulder hall, and there's a woman, I sometimes try to engage with them, but I think they know I'm dishonest. They know I'm just playing around. I'm not really interested in them. And so they're not really interested in me. Sometimes women try, but then they just let it go. Because they realize I'm not pushing it. Or they're not pushing it. I don't really know what they think I should do. Because if they would really want it, I may still walk away. I don't know, right? Sometimes I'm so angry I just want to sleep with another woman just to end it. Plus, I'm not a saint, right? Sometimes I'm trying to act saintly. But the truth is, I would have slept with any woman if we connect. And if the woman also shows interest back. Until now, none really have. Because I'm a challenge. And I know that because I make sure that I'm a challenge. Because I stand where I am. And a woman that would want to be intimate with me, would have to be fairly certain that she wants this. It doesn't even have to be, at the moment I feel like, it doesn't have to be like, this has to be a family and we have to have children. It could be okay to occasionally spend time with each other. I think. I'm not sure. It's hard to say. But sometimes I meet women and I have the feeling that I would have to do all the work. And then I lose my interest. Because I'm willing to engage. But if the woman loses interest, then it's not engaging anymore. Then it's just like worshipping. And I cannot worship the goddess in you if you cannot worship the God in me. If that makes any sense to you. Because that's what marriage and tantra is about. It's giving, taking. I can give, I can take, but I also receive. And that's a balance. If I just keep giving, to me it doesn't work. I can give a lot, but at some point I just say that's enough. Right? So unless somebody comes and shows me, yeah, man, she would have to get me really excited. Most women don't have the stamina, I'm telling you. They're not really women, and they don't really want me. Because I don't really want them. I can go and boulder on my own. Right? Maybe my marriage is YouTube or Instagram. But who cares? I have an outlet. So I don't need women, but I still like them. But most women are dishonest to themselves and to everyone else. And so they're useless to me. Because if you really want something, you have to work for that every day. your focus has to be on reaching that goal, on climbing that mountain. And if the mountain is not me, but you like more like hills, and you think I'm another one of those hills, well, you realize I'm a mountain. If you cannot climb me, what does that say? That you're not as tough as you think you are, because you need 3 lesser men. Because you cannot hold 1 full-grown man. Because a woman also needs to be able to hold on to her man. To kind of ensnare him. That's why you say the eyes of a woman, right? So, yeah, it's a tough road. But I'm a tough bloke, whatever that means. All right.